Yay! All right. Hey, welcome back to Anti-King. Today we're returning to everyone's least or most favorite series of mine, depending on who you ask. I'm doing another episode of the Underappreciated Career of, and today I'll be covering the outstandingly talented and overwhelmingly cute Alison Brie. Alison Brie was born on December 29th, 1982 in Los Angeles, California. She graduated from the California Institute of the Arts with a bachelor's degree in theater in 2005. She also studied at the Royal Scottish Academy of Music and Drama in Glasgow. She later worked as a clown at birthday parties and performed in theater in California. Her first official role came the following year in 2006 as a hairdresser in an episode of Hannah Montana. She went on to star in a handful of movies over 2007 and 2008, mostly smaller things like The Cover-Up, Buddy and Andy, and in a horror movie with Jeffrey Combs I'm hoping to find soon called Parasomnia. It was in 2009 that I, and a lot of Alison Brie fans I would guess, saw her for the very first time as Annie Edison in the offbeat sitcom Community. Annie is a sheltered girl who got caught up in an unexpected drug problem in high school binging Adderalls to help with her grades, giving her the nickname Annie Adderall. She can be tightly wound and admittedly, at times, cares too much what other people think of her. I can't picture anyone playing this role as perfectly as Brie does. It's one of those that truly is attached to the actor portraying it. And to be honest, the way Alison eats up roles, you're gonna find that that's not too uncommon for her. I also wanted to mention her role as Trudy Campbell in Mad Men, as it did precede Community. However, despite having Brie and fellow underrated actor Christina Hendricks, I never could get into Mad Men's slow burn style of storytelling. So while I know it's an incredible milestone in her career and a character that so many of her fans love, I don't know enough about the show to speak on it with authority, and I'd sound pretty dumb trying to talk about something I've never seen. And I'd also be really dumb to try to binge all of Mad Men in the time it took me to prepare this video. While still shooting both Mad Men and Community, 2010 saw Brie in the movies Raspberry Magic and The Homefront, before playing another underrated role in a very underrated movie the following year in 2011 with Scream 4. In it, Alison plays Rebecca Walters, Sidney Prescott's publicist. She's relentless in her work to the point of crossing a line, and much like with Annie Edison, Brie plays that meek intensity perfectly. While Scream 4 suffered audience reactions at the time for being a retread of old stuff, it seems as though that opinion's flipped in recent years. And while Brie is mainly there just to pad the body count and give you a familiar face, it's still an excellent performance that's worth mentioning, in a movie that did not get enough love. The next few years would see her in some terrific movies, such as The 5-Year Engagement and The Lego Movie, as well as some great guest spots on TV shows like American Dad and Robot Chicken. It was after these years in 2014 that she performed in two of her most significant roles yet. I'll start with her turn as Elaine Night Train Lainey Dalton in Sleeping with Other People, opposite Jason Sudeikis, who is probably eligible for this series before the Ted Lasso wave, and Amanda Peet, who will almost definitely end up on this series at some point. Lainey is a sex addict who has a problem attaching emotionally to anyone, which is called being aromantic, and it's only a problem in the movies. She eventually runs into the man she lost her virginity to, Sudeikis' Jake the Harpoon Harper. I made both those nicknames up. They quickly bond over their disastrous love life together as the sexual tension ratchets up throughout, before eventually they end up together and blah blah, you know how romantic comedies go. The notable part of this movie is the chemistry between Sudeikis and Brie, not only comedically, but romantically as well. If I didn't know this was just the result of two actors at the top of their craft, I might think there's actually something going on there. Brie plays distress and wonder perfectly. And yeah, this movie kind of slid under the radar, and I think a lot of people missed out. It's fantastic. However, 2014 also saw Brie take a less lighthearted, less formulaic role on the critically acclaimed Bojack Horseman as Diane, Bojack's novelist and eventually best friend. I cannot do justice in one paragraph what Bojack means to me or how impactful and amazing the writing is. I can only say so much about Brie's character Diane, whose growth throughout the show's 7 seasons might be one of, if not the, most satisfying to watch. Diane is emotionally distant after being raised by a dismissive adoptive family. She's sometimes cold, but never cruel. Throughout the series, she's the first to comfort Bojack through rough times, as well as countless other characters. It makes it all the more rewarding when you finally see her come to terms with her own demons near the end of the series. That's all I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna refer you to one of my favorite YouTubers, Johnny Tucellos, who's done an entire Diane timeline that lays out the brilliance of her character in a much more detailed way than I ever could. She also had a funny bit part in Get Hard before appearing in the movies No Stranger Than Love and Joshi in 2015 and 2016. It was also 2016 that she starred in How to Be Single. How to Be Single doesn't do anything to reinvent the rom-com genre, and that's fine. The reason it's one of the few recent rom-coms I've actually really liked is because of the performances. Alison Brie, Dakota Johnson, Leslie Mann, and of course, Durs.
And I'm gonna do whatever I want to do!
All kill it. Alison plays a love-obsessed single lady whose constant search for love ends up getting in the way of her actual love life. It's another character that is inseparable from the actor playing them. She spent the next few years in mostly smaller roles in indie films, including notable turns in The Little Hours and The Disaster Artist. And I personally don't like anime, but she does a voice in the English dub of Weathering With You, and I'm told that's a pretty big deal. This retrospective is also unique in the sense that Brie's career is still very much in its prime. She hasn't exactly faded into obscurity, as even the most recent things she's done have been some of her best work. And I think the 3 movies she did in 2020 are a great example of that. That year, she did holiday dramedy Happiest Season, abstract horror The Rental, and psychological thriller, and my personal favorite of the 3, Horse Girl. The Rental is a fantastic horror film that puts its own spin on the home invasion genre. It's mind-bending and rewarding, and Alison Brie's performance is such a huge anchor to that. The subtle way she escalates her body language and tone throughout as things begin to unravel is absolutely fantastic. Then we have Happiest Season, which is a definite shift in tone from The Rental. It functions as a brilliant dissection of the resentments and other discomforts built into any typical family. It serves as a microscope of our own inherent biases, while also being poignantly funny. Alison plays main character Harper's older sister, and absolutely nails the pair's uncomfortable dynamic. And last but not least, Horse Girl. Between this and Bojack, is there a horse-related project Alison Brie won't do? The answer is nay. Horse Girl is a spectacular insight into mental illness and the thin line separating delusion and reality. Could talk for a long time about Horse Girl and Alison Brie's powerhouse performance, but honestly, it's an upcoming episode of Horror You Probably Slept On, so I don't want to go too into detail. In it, however, she plays Sarah, an introverted woman living an unspectacular life. Soon, the very fabric of reality starts to fall apart around her as she tries to navigate the minefield that is her own delusional brain. Alison Brie has strung together more than a decade of solid work. She's played in comedies, horror, thrillers, drama, and everything in between, all as believable as the next. She's been the sweet girl next door. She's been the insane spoiled brat. She's been on the brink of falling apart, and absolutely nailed each one. I think it's time we give her her fair due, and acknowledge all the exceptional work she's done. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you haven't yet, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. Next week, I'm diving right back into another episode of Slept On with Girl on the Third Floor. It's a Netflix horror with incredible practical gore effects. After that, I plan on doing some kind of video essay, but I haven't really planned what yet. So I guess follow me on socials for an announcement. I'm sure it's coming. TikTok should be going again pretty soon. Yeah, I just moved and I'm starting to get back to work. Trying to stay on schedule, deliver some videos consistently now. So looking forward to that. Anyways, until next time, stay safe.